Fan Park Live, what's your name?
Yes, Daniel.
Hello, Daniel.
Hey,
Mate, I do
Daniel,
appreciate
why you calling
I
me,
do
bro?
appreciate
Why
you
do you
coming
calling
on.
me?
I have to ask you straight away, as a Chelsea fan, to beat 6-0 in that way, where's your mind at now? Do you feel embarrassed? Do you feel angry, frustrated? What emotions are running through you right now?
Well, first of all, I just tuned into the show, so I want to shout out my boys in the studio, obviously Devo and I have hope. So,
Yo, yo,
Yes,
yo,
bro.
yo, yo,
yeah,
yo, yo,
Do I
yo.
do I not get a shout out?
Nah, nah, no, 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 no,
uh,
Dan, don't shout this guy out, man. Forget this guy.
I could have, but you don't have to ask for one. It's meant to be a natural thing. But anyways, onto the game. That's what
Just
we're
a
here
bit
to talk about.
disrespectful to ring my show and,
Yeah,
and not say something nice, brother, But,
Yo,
it's
sure.
cool. I'm cool. You crack on. You are emotional, of course, after
It's bloody
being
my show,
stuck
man.
for 6. But, yeah, tell us how you're feeling right now.
you're gonna try and give me stick this entire call. I can already see it, but it's cool. It's part of football. We got to take the banner. First and foremost, obviously, City deserve credit. Amazing team. I think when you allow them to play the way that they do, when they're not just a team sitting back and there's actually space for them to attack, I think they're the most ruthless team in the league. He scored already 120 goals in all competitions. It's ridiculous. But again, you guys don't want to hear me talk about Man City. You want to hear me talk about Chelsea. So to be honest, this is what I kind of predicted. I said before the game I wasn't confident, especially once I saw the lineup as well. I thought that was a terrible decision in playing players like Pedro and Barkley. I think we needed a more pressure-resistant midfielder, and Kovacic should be starting this game. And even what he offers defensively on our left-hand side, where Alonso's very not the greatest defensively. Even Hazard himself isn't the most diligent in his defensive work, so in the defensive phase. So yeah, but you know what? Looking at the game, even from the first 2-3 minutes, we started off decent and it was going okay. But then even that first mistake for Alonso and that goal was shocking. So again, I could summarize the entire game and go on and on and on and on so many tangents. But my overall feelings are I'm
Dan, I
disappointed
get that.
and yeah,
So let me ask you,
it was
look,
embarrassing today, obviously.
Twitter and social media is going off, and I agree with you. Any of us here, whether you're an Arsenal fan, United fan, if your team gets beat like that by a top 6 rival, it's embarrassing. We all know that, and we've all felt it at different times over the course of our footballing lives. We've all had that. But when you look at Sarri, right now, do you think the problem is his management, his picking of the team, his footballing philosophy? And if so, can he turn it around at the club? Is it worth keeping him? Because a lot of Chelsea fans seem to have lost patience with him already, and there are rumours that players don't like playing for him also. Where do you sit on that argument?
So first and foremost, I think it was actually quite worrying the way he just walked down the tunnel. He didn't even shake Pep Guardiola's hand. Again, it's one thing to lose, and I'm embarrassed by that. But if you're going to be Chelsea manager, at least conduct yourself properly. Like, shake the guy's hand, be humble in defeat. We got slapped. Like, don't just walk down the tunnel. I was kind of disappointed in that. But onto your actual question. I think there's obviously a multitude of reasons, things that were at fault for today, and just in general this season. The system again, is proven to work with Napoli. I think part of what's the problem with the system is that the Napoli players, I was talking about this with an Arsenal friend of mine. I think this even before the Bournemouth game where we lost 4-0. I said that Napoli team, man for man over that starting 11, they're better than this Sarri team that he's inherited with Chelsea. I think that's a pure fact. Again, you guys can go through it if you want after my call, and you will find out that the Napoli players are just better man for man. So that's a major problem. Obviously, the system itself, it can work, but again, when Jorginho's having a shocker like he did today, it makes things difficult. When the fullbacks aren't great on the ball, like Alonso and Azpilicueta, are very unathletic fullbacks, and even defenders in general, it also creates a lot of issues. But again, you have to believe in the process. Again, I'm speaking for myself here. Maybe other fans maybe have already given up hope on the manager. Again, don't get me wrong, he's made a lot of mistakes in terms of personnel, and he's been stubborn with how he's kept on going with certain aspects of the team, but you still have to keep faith in the manager. I think if he's able to, again, if he's able to invest the money that Pep Guardiola was able to do with Man City, then we can see the best of his Sarri ball, because again, it can work. I think we have some of the players to do it, but clearly we don't have a starting 11 that's able to carry out on a consistent basis. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I understand everything you said there. It makes sense. Hazard today. Have Hopes said that he was the best player on the pitch across both all 22 men that started the game. He said that Eden Hazard was the best performer on there. He feels first half, sorry. But also feels like Hazard doesn't want to pass the ball to his teammates because none of them are good enough. When you see a performance like that from Eden Hazard today, do you feel that he is, like Have Hope does, that he's completely exempt of blame? Or do you feel that one of the best players in the world should be doing more in these types of big games?
So here's the thing with Hazard, right? It's quite strange that we always pick him out after any single game that we lose. But then again, I guess this is a big game, so we obviously have to look at him. But in terms of today, I think he was really good in the first half. Again, I think we had the moments. Obviously, the second half was even worse than the first half in terms of the overall performance. But again, to Hazard, I mean, like when you look at who he's having to build up play with on that left hand side, Alonso and Barkley. Like, I don't know what a player in a world you expect to do good with that as their supporting cast. I mean,
With
again, you look at a game like this one,
name the two
again,
people.
I don't know.
So, Danny,
one.
name the two people again.
Alonso and Barkley.
Okay.
On our left hand side. Yeah. I mean, again, when you look at like games like today and even Bournemouth when we lose 6-0 and 4-0, today was 6-0, right? Yeah, it was 6-0. Yeah. Yeah, like how can you look at it and say, oh, this guy is not good enough or he's inconsistent? The team is clearly not built around. I mean, we've had him for 7 years now. We've yet to build a team around the guy. So again, I was even critical of him before when I said he wasn't good in the defensive phase and maybe he could have pressed a little bit better. I think like our front line, the way that they pressed wasn't good enough today as well. But again, there's many aspects to why we were bad today. But again, to go over and say, oh, now Hazard's overrated, he's inconsistent, he only performs against smaller teams.
No one said that. I was just asking whether you feel that you should have got more out of him or not. I didn't say he was overrated or inconsistent. I just said...
Daniel, let me ask you something.
That's general thought that people will say. But in terms of today, I mean, yeah, he could have done better. But then again, I can't expect better when the team was absolutely shocking like it was today. Again, when we were in that first one, yes, we were losing 4-0. He was actually one of the best players on the pitch of all the 22 men on the pitch.
I mean, yeah, he started the game very well. He started the game well.
Again, what can only one man do? Like, he's not Lionel Messi. And other than that, what other player is really going to be that amazing in this Chelsea team? I don't think anybody will. And again, just to make this point, when Hazard had world-class players around him in the Belgian team, and I was confident he was going to perform at that World Cup, what did he do? He was the best player at that World Cup. Now, we had those players at Chelsea, we would see a better, more consistent performing team as well as a more
so maybe that's the answer, just to buy the whole Belgian national team. But Daniel, let me just ask you one question quickly, because you just said for 7 years you've had Hazard and you've never built a team around him. Isn't that an indication of how good or just how professional he is around the club? Because if you have a player of that talent, surely over 7 years you build a team around that player, no?
Yeah, again, that is a good point, because although we've had teams that have won league titles, I just don't feel like we've really made a team that's centered around him. Again, when I say that, when I make that point, when he walked into the team initially 7 years ago, he was playing alongside players like Oscar, Mata. These are players more on his footballing wavelength. Now he's having to deal with a 31-year-old Willian and a 32-year-old Pedro. That's shocking. So again, I think it was a bit about his temperament as well. Maybe he could have forced a move earlier in his career when he saw that maybe we weren't heading in the direction that a player like which is a top 5 player in the world, but we're not really going in the right direction to get the best out of him. So again, he could have left earlier. Maybe he's I've always questioned maybe his mentality. Not to say that it's bad or anything, but he hasn't got the same mentality as, let's say, a Neymar or a Ronaldo, where he's so selfish and he's so driven to make the best out of himself. But we're seeing that a little bit more lately, which is why he's probably looking to move. Which, again, when you see performances like today in Bournemouth, can you blame the guy? No. He's clearly on another level to everybody in this team, other than maybe Kante. But even on an attacking level, nobody can support him when we're trying to play, especially games like today against a team like Man City. So, it just goes to show that's the case.
I understand what you're saying there, and I just looked at a statistic because I thought I wanted to. You said about Sarri getting money and being able to spend it and build his team. Another issue with Chelsea has been I think they
waste a lot of money.
They waste a lot of money because, and this is where fans have got to go. What I mean by that is, in Pep Guardiola's first summer, he spent around about 189 million, the exact same funds that Sarri's had in his first summer. So they've spent the same amount of money in their first year. And of course, Pep didn't win anything straight away. It took him 2 seasons. I just worry for Sarri 2 things. One, I don't think the board or the club is run as well at Chelsea as things are at Man City. They may not afford him time, and managers tend to not get the players they want at Chelsea after their first season. We've seen the last 2, Conte and Jose, fall out massively because players have been sold they wanted to keep, and they've been given players that the club wants to buy as opposed to them. And when you've got a manager like Sarri that plays a very specific and specialised form of football, he will want certain players with certain appetites that want to play a certain type of ball. Are you confident that your board is, one, going to spend the money needed to get more players of Eden Hazard's level, and 2, will they listen to your manager for the first time in many, many years and buy the exact players he wants to fit that? Or do you think it's going to be more square pegs in round holes?
No, I'm not confident in the board again. I think the past leads to what can happen in the future, and we've seen some of our transfer dealings. It's been not organised. We've been looking to buy players who have been maybe fitting certain manager styles, but again, that's why we need a director of football, so that way we can have an actual direction where we're going to be going as a club. When you're signing Barkley just to make profit because he was 15 million on the market, when you're signing Giroud, which ends up helping a rival of ours to get Aubameyang, when you're signing Emerson, but yet you're not actually, when you're just still putting all the faith into Alonso, and it's et cetera and et cetera. I could go on, but yeah, so I'm not confident in the board to be able to get the best out of the manager and what he needs to make this team good, because I still have faith in the manager to be able to do a good job with Chelsea. Of course, he needs a lot of funds, and clearly this team isn't as good as the Napoli team that he had beforehand. So yeah, it's tough. Also, I think one thing that needs to be pointed out, as much as I've defended Sarri on this, and I feel like obviously there's things he's done wrong, I think one thing that is really hurting me as a fan, more than today's defeat, more than even Edison doing a Creighton on Higuain in the second half, which is quite embarrassing to watch. I think what really hurts me as a fan is how he's treating Hudson-Odoi. I think when you see someone who is our best young talent not getting minutes, especially, and it's not like
scandalous.
You can't get minutes ahead of De Bruyne and Silva.
Mate,
can't get minutes ahead of Willian and Pedro. It's shocking.
Mate, do you know what? Again,
me as a fan will always resent Sarri and the club for doing that.
Yeah, mate, and it's the club. I would resent, if I was a Chelsea fan, it'd be the club I'd be annoyed at, because they've been doing this to young players for 15 years at Chelsea. And Hudson-Odoi is maybe the most talented one they're doing it to. But yeah, it is absolutely scary. And as is a young Englishman as well, it upsets me even more, because you want to see these youngsters develop and play. I want to see them develop and play for my country and do well for us. But Dan, look,